We need to create some words for this little song. We are going to learn about the law of attraction. It is not just magic, it is all about action. Something like that. Oh, well. Thank you very much. It's awfully kind of you to acknowledge me in that way. Who am I, you ask? Well, I'm Bob Doyle. Featured teacher in the film and the book The Secret. Law of Attraction enthusiast. We've got Steve and Leanne and Nora and Sarah and Irma and Kathy already in the room. Let's see if I can prove that to you. I hope people have cues in their pockets. Sarah read the description. See, here's the deal with this. It's a Q&A. We know how that works, right? Ugh, how do we, Yeah, so you ask a question and I give the answer. I think I said that right this time because the other day I didn't. And actually, I did one of these the other day. And there were a couple of questions I missed, so I'm going to actually address those even though those people probably aren't going to be in the room right now. All right, so Irma is enthused. So I'm really happy about that, and we've got good everything. Good morning, good afternoons, all that stuff, right? So is this going to work? Yes, sort of. No, I got to go to it first. See, look at that. You saw some behind-the-scenes technical action, right? Emily, I don't know about cues, but I do have a Jolly Rancher from yesterday. See, that's what I love about this show, right? I don't think you're going to get that any other show. Okay, so, well, look, the Bob Doyle Show, which I guess is Dawn, just posted this link about group coaching. And of course, I'm going to talk about group coaching a little bit. But I'm going to answer your questions as always. And I'm going to start with the others. But I'm going to share something with you as we all gather here and as everybody's sharing. Right? Today's kind of a landmark day for me because my youngest child, my son, turns 18 today. So that means that I have seen through all three of my children through to adulthood. And so I'm just kind of in a, kind of mode today. My oldest daughter gave me, just me, a grandson last year. So that's a huge landmark. So she's kicking it out there in the East. My other daughter is a life coach, a personal trainer, and travels all around the country in the music industry. And my son is about to embark. Now he's 18, and I was like, okay. He's got the whole world ahead of him, right? So they all survived, and so there you go. Done. Okay, I'm done parenting, right? It's all. I don't have to do anything else. Is that right? Just the last one's 18. All responsible. Now I just get to. No. See, they don't tell you these things. All right. Thanks, Jory. Well, it's quite an accomplishment, but I it was a team effort. It wasn't just me accomplishing it. I don't know exactly how to get those comments to come down. They used to come down automatically. I changed something, and now I think you're going to see this again. Oh well. All right. Look. Sorry. Will that go away now? So here I'm gonna share the questions from the other day, and then you guys get your law of attraction questions together, and then we're just gonna learn together. So the other day, and this is one I get asked a lot. I need to do a word wrap here because I can't read the whole question. Here we go. So how often? Susan asked, how often do you believe you need to review out loud your manifestation goals, daily, weekly, or only when there's a shift in goals? So that again is one of those that you hear so many different things about that, and there's not a one-size-fits-all answer. The idea of all of this, right, repeating affirmations or doing a vision board or anything, is to move you into alignment with your vision vibrationally, and you do that through your emotional state. So it's really about how often do you need to do any particular thing to move you back into emotional alignment. In other words, if you're feeling like you know how you want to feel in your vision, I certainly hope, because that's really key. And so you do these, exercises, these techniques to move yourself into that feeling, right? But the goal, obviously, is not to have to use techniques and stuff like that, to go back to our original state where we just live in that vision and attract it. So it's up to you. How often do you need that emotional adjustment, right? If you can walk around for the bulk of your day, not actively visualizing things, but still in the feeling that you are that person, that is your life, then you don't need to do it necessarily every day or whatever. But some people, maybe they're surrounded with a lot of evidence that that's not their vision is not manifest in their experience of reality, and they may need to check in on a more regular basis, right? So there's not a set number of times. And this that the question, which is I get it all the time, and it's a totally fair question, but I'm inviting everybody to try to detach from this idea that there's a right, like there's this, like if there's any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 technique, because those techniques aren't necessarily going to work the same way for every person because of our own unique upbringing and the resistance we have in us. Our own conversations that we're having within ourselves. And some of these cookie cutter approaches to this law of attraction thing are just simply will not work for a person, and it might work for the person sitting right next to them wearing the blue shirt. I'm wearing a blue shirt. So, but see that all of that attachment to, am I doing it right? What's the process? What order should I do it in? Any of this, and I know I'm exaggerating the basis of the question. So Susan, if you're watching this, believe me, I'm just using this opportunity as an example. And then I derailed myself. But you probably knew where I was going because I probably had such momentum in that sentence. Well, let me just go on because I'm sure it'll all tie together. And this is another common one. Alberto said, when I first started the broadcast, I was like, ask your questions, whatever it is, how can I help you? And his question was, I need to manifest what I want. I mean, it's a statement, but you know what I mean. He's asking for support in that area. So now some of you will know that vibrationally and energetically, the very basis of that question is causing a problem vibrationally, right? I need to manifest what I want. That sentence is filled with lack, right? It's when you look at it, it's more obvious maybe than when he's saying it, because that's what the ego feels. I need this. No, I really need it, because if I don't, then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. I need it. So, but instead of using that, okay, I need it, as a launching pad to envisioning how it's going to be when it's done, you keep focusing on I need it, where is it? It's not here. I want it. It's all about its absence. And when that's your overall feeling and vibration, I'm going to approach this two ways. From a strictly law of attraction energy point of view, when that's where you are, you cannot align with the energy that is abundance if you are putting out this force field energy of lack, okay? That's the law of attraction sort of woo-woo explanation. But think about this too. Let's just be practical, because that's what I like to do with all of this. If you've got those kind of inner conversations going, where is it? You're not going to take the appropriate action to get you into where you want to go. You may think you are, but you're operating completely out of lack and fear, impatience, and all of those things. Your brain isn't going to be working creatively. You're not using your intuition anymore because you've shut that out. Right? So now you're just using whatever experience and knowledge, whatever that you have in your head from your own life experience, and you're trying to use that limited pool of resource to solve your problems. And you've got all the attention on the problems and so on, right? And it's just a simple shift in a conversation. I need to manifest what I want. So that, now what? And then get into the answer. Right? So instead of just dwelling on the first part, I need to manifest what I want so that I can feel expansive, so that I can feel abundant, so that I can feel free, so that I can help more people, so that I can, see, it's such a different energy. And your situation is your situation. You get to choose how you're going to feel about it. Are you going to feel all in lack and panicked about it, where your actions are going to be ruled by that, or are you going to feel expansive about and in a state of possibility, and then your actions will be ruled by that? See how fast I can blink my eyelashes. Hi, Christiane. Nice to see you. Irma says she needs to visualize. I'm sorry. Hold on. Where's my mousey? Oh, Gabe. There we go. Needs to develop skills in visualizing. Any tips? So first of all, yes, let me talk about that a little bit. I have said this a lot, so if you've heard me, forgive me. But visualizing isn't just, the way that I talk about it, isn't just about creating images with your mind, right? Trying to get really crisp pictures, because some people just, they can't do that, at least at this point. And they go, oh no, I can't visualize. Visualization in the way that I describe it is basically just using your imagination. I don't know why I said it that way. Your imagination to create an emotional response. So that can be trying to create images in your mind. It can be writing things down on a piece of paper. It can be looking at a vision board. Anything that you're using your imagination to generate. So if it's just thinking about something, even with no pictures or whatever, you know, I'm pretty sure that you have some idea of what abundance feels like, even though you can't necessarily know what it looks like. And in fact, if you're stuck on that, it's best to just bypass that completely. Just go to the feeling. That's what you're going for anyway. Because when we get stuck on the stuff, then we get attached to it. Oh, that house is going to make me happy. That car is going to make me happy. That woman's going to make me happy. That man's going to make me happy. That money's going to make me happy. Instead of just feeling what it's going to feel like, imagining what it's going to feel like to feel happy, and then let the universe bring you whatever it is that's going to create that feeling. And it may be all of those things. It may be a subset of them, or it may be something completely different. But the point is, you still get to have the feeling. And maybe if you had attracted that house or that car, it would have been a stressful situation. You wouldn't have liked it. It wasn't you. You just thought that was what was going to make you happy because that's what everybody else in the world says. So instead of trying to figure all that out, just let the universe fill in the blanks. I really believe that's how it's supposed to be. What else we got? What else we got? Natty's here. Rachel's here. Let's see. Jory's saying something. My goals are a part of my life and the emotions are with me 24/7. If they aren't, then I use a tool to get me reconnected. Right. See, Jory's point, which is right here for you to see, is that it needs to be, this is what I was saying the other day and every day. This is about a way of being, right? Not just some exercise you do for 10 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. I'm doing my law of attraction work right now. That's going to happen every time I share a comment. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I want you to see that, but I'm not ready to talk about it quite yet. I'm in the middle of something here. Rachel says, how do I attract the people I need? So do you know what those people feel like? Right? Like, and what do you, and in what capacity do you need them? I guess that's just, if we were really digging in deep, it would be like, need in what way? Professionally, just personally, you know. But in any case, you still need to kind of know what those relationships feel like, right? So what does it feel like? Because when you're clear on that, then it'll be easier for you to know and feel into when those people might be showing up in your space. You know, we interact with people in so many different levels during the course of our day, and a lot of times, you know, there are opportunities that you just never know that we just bypass because what do I got to talk to them about? But if you're in the space of receiving exactly who you need in your life or want in your life to fit into your vision, you perceive people, everything, you're looking through a different lens, literally. And the person that you might have bypassed completely before, you would have said, wait a minute, right? And it can happen. But you need to know what those people feel like. And again, we don't want to base it on the people that you don't like. I mean, that can be the starting point. And I might be being harsh with don't like, but let's say you've got a group that, you know, they're not really feeding you the way that you want to be fed. And that's why you're asking this question, how can I attract the people we need? Well, we need to just be sure that you are focused on the feeling that you want with those people instead of all the yucky feelings or the dissatisfaction feelings or whatever feelings you're feeling with these current people, right? Because we don't want to just get, I don't want this, I don't want this. You just very clearly, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this. See what I'm saying? Okay. So let's see what else we got. Hi, Catherine is here, and well, that's not her name, just Catherine. I said hi. I should have used a comma, but I didn't. Catherine is here. Okay. So you guys ask your question. I'm really, really trying hard not to miss questions this time. So today also marks when I am officially closing the enrollment for the group coaching, and now I'll put this up there and let you stare at it. The 90-day group coaching thing that's going to start April 21st. And that will begin our weekly live sessions like this in our closed, private, wonderful, intimate group, and 24/7 access to me and the rest of the group and all your questions. And oh, I've just talked about this so much recently. And but I have to tell you about it. I would be wronging you if I didn't. But it starts in a couple of weeks. And after today, I am going to raise the price. And I know that sounds like a big marketing trick, but whatever. You've got to get motivated. There's too much that goes on in the ego to tell people why it's not the right time to do something. They know they want to do it. You've probably heard me talk about this for several days, and the benefits and the results. And you can go to this page here and see for yourself what people are saying. And the ego will tell you a million reasons why I can't afford it. I don't have time. Who is this guy? Whatever. And you can look at all the evidence, and still your ego will tell you why you can't do it. And so, if raising the price by a few $100s would move somebody to go ahead and freaking take action on it, then that's what I'm going to do. Because you're going to get so much more than your money's worth anyway. I'm not kidding. It's a complete over delivery, and it's not just me. Sometimes I watch these back and I go, God, I really sound like I'm just saying that I am the whole thing, and I'm not. It is the magic is in the group dynamic. There's Marie Pierre. She's one of the people that I'm talking about. And there's several people in here who have been a part of these groups. So I mean, it is for the people who are done kicking the law of attraction tires. And I'm telling you, there are people who've kicked the law of attraction tires for 20 years, and they're saying they're in it, and they get it, and they're still not. They still haven't. It's coming. It's coming. It doesn't need to take 20 years, guys. It doesn't need to take years of study. All we're doing in this work really is just going back to us, who we really are, who we want to be, and just owning it. That's it. If we could just do that, then the rest, all the manifestation stuff, it just takes care of itself. You don't need vision boards. You don't need any of it. You just be you without all the resistance about why that's not enough. Because that's the stuff, that's the insidious energy that is creating the experience for you that you're wanting to change. But the people who just play full out and don't have all those limiting beliefs, that's what the group coaching is for, is to tweak, find those limiting beliefs, get really clear on who you want to be and what life is supposed to be for you. And then really do it. Not just read about it or say you're doing it, but like coming into a group every day and you're doing it. And you're having your successes, you're having your setbacks, you're getting your support, you're having your successes, setbacks, support, and the whole while the graph is going up, and that's the goal. It's a wave because life is. But it's so much easier to ride the waves when you've got help, when you've got support, when you've got a bunch of people just group hugging you all the time. And if you don't have that in your life and you struggle with the law of attraction, perhaps it's because you don't have that in your life. And so, what we've done is we've created this space of education, tool sets, lots and lots and lots and lots of coaching. More coaching than my one-on-one clients ever got. This is what I keep trying to say. I've basically stopped doing one-on-one coaching because this is more effective and way less expensive. And you know, as I keep pointing out, there are people who have just done it again and again and again because it's changing their lives. If it didn't change their lives, they wouldn't keep doing it, right? That just makes sense, I think. Anyway, all right, let's look at some questions. There's got to be some here. Well, I don't see any. I see a lot of everybody jump in and do it. You got the social proof happening right here on the board. Social board of social proof. Oh boy. Look at you guys. This is awesome. Wait, who's Debbie? Did I miss Debbie in here? Because Jory's talking to Debbie and I don't see Debbie in here. But Debbie, you need to listen to your friend. You know what? Forget it. I don't like to say you need to do anything. But sometimes I secretly think it. All right, so what else we got? Come on, questions, questions, questions. I feel I know there was another one from the other day, and I was trying desperately to find it in the comments. But you know, here, the main questions that come up are things like, how often do I visualize, and just everything around visualization and the techniques. The relationship stuff, right? These people don't support me, or whatever, all of that, or, you know, how do I find the one? But really, honestly, as I think about it, I mean, there are people, I guess, who that's the thing, but it's our work is so much more about finding the one, not the one out there. Because until you do that, until you find you, it's a wild card as to what you're going to attract as far as the one. And that even goes for your friendships too. The more clear on who you are and how you're acting out of your own sense of purpose and not what other people told you should do or expect of you, the more you fall in love with yourself, the more others will fall in love with you. And the beauty is, you won't need them to. It'll just happen, but you won't need them to. And that's part of what makes you so freaking attractive. Because look, if you need it, guess who you're going to attract? The people who need them. Ugh, we've had those, haven't we? So these are the little tweaks, the little ahas, the little, yeah, that you get reminded of every single day in this program. And not just from me telling you, but from people going through it right in front of your faces. And you being a part of their support system and them being a part of yours. I don't know. I can't describe it really. It's just such a different thing. I mean, it's just like not just some group coaching programs are just kind of sterile. I mean, not all, but I'm just saying that, you know, you've got your leader and you attend your teleseminars and you ask your questions, then everybody goes their separate ways. Maybe some posts in a group somewhere. And then it's over and that's it. And maybe some relationships are formed or whatever. And look, I'm sure it happens. I'm sure mine is not the only group where this happens. But I will say, this is a group where it happens that it becomes a family and not a dysfunctional one. I mean, sometimes it is more of a family than your family is, because we all have this idea that our family is, you know, we're always trying to please them because they're our like that's like somehow if it's family we have to bend who we are because it's family, and we don't. I mean, really, your family should be your supportive structure. But sometimes families, you know, parents have their own stuff. They have their own ideas of limitation, and they just put them in you, not meaning to do any harm, but it just happens. But at that point, their job as a family and support is actually failing because they're not allowing you to be you. They're not supporting you in the life that you want to live. It's not that they don't want to necessarily. Some might not want you to, but they just they don't know how because they don't have the resources within them to believe that you could do it if they couldn't or whatever. But in here, you get a family that just totally believes in you. Because we learn, and it's not just because it's the nice thing to do. It's because we learn very early that, of course, we can all do this. We can all do what we want to do. We just have to take the action. It's not a question of, you just have to take action. And maybe some of that action means you learn something more. You get better at a skill. You know, it doesn't have to be this magic thing. You just take the right action. You write the book. You know, you go to the event. You do the stuff that you know or you suspect might move you, but you don't do it. So we're here to help you do that, and we fortify that whole thing with law of attraction principles so you know why what we're saying to do is the answer. Right? And having all the tools to eliminate all the resistance that comes up when it happens. And it will. Because that's the very nature of the growth, is that you're going to get uncomfortable and your ego is going to tell you to stop. And if you have not in your life historically been able to move past that when that happens, this is why we do this. And yep, it's an investment, and it's going to be a great one, because you're going to get a whole different way of living your life, should you choose to do it. And you can continue with us in our momentum program where, you know, it's just, or you can just say, thank you for the 90 days. I got what I needed and my life is going to be awesome from this point. And it was a small price to pay because look how much money I spent on public education. And look how much money I spend to go back and forth into this job I hate. And everything else. I mean, just, you know, where have you invested so far? How much have you invested? And where has it gotten you? I promise you what we're talking about is a super small fraction of a percent of all of that number, including the amount of time, but the impact is this total reset button on your whole life in 90 days. And all of these people with these hearts and thumbs up are saying, yes, yes, it's true what he's saying. I don't know what else I can do. Except keep answering your questions if you got some. Oh, Jim says, why can't it be a magic thing? Look, man, you know, because you've heard me say it lots of times, it totally can occur as magic. And you know what? I love thinking of it as magical. It's fun and it's whimsical and all that. I mean, it's science, but it can occur as magical to us in the way that we've been trained to think. Right? So it can occur as magic, but for some people, that whole magic conversation makes it unrealistic. You know, they don't believe in magic, so they just throw the whole conversation out because it's framed like that sometimes. So it can feel really great, and it can feel magical. Hi, Tina. See people sneaking in. Oh, Tina's right there, right above Sarah. Look, I'll prove it to you. See? Oh, wait, we got something from on your video. The click really helped me, a major shift in vibration. Thank you, Irma. Irma is talking about a video that you're welcome to go check out at balancedliving.com/theclick. And it walks you through a process that I threw together a couple of years ago to help you eliminate any behavior that is stopping you from moving forward towards your vision. And in my case, I used it to eliminate alcohol from my life in about 45 minutes. And I have not looked back. So, and the reason I go ahead and share that with you, even though right now we're talking about the group coaching, is because some of you may not, I don't know me well enough, or I don't know whatever the hesitancy is. If there's something about, well, I don't know how you teach, I don't know how you do, I don't know what your thing is, that's just another way that you can go check me out and do your research. But you got to do it today. I've been talking about this for several weeks because I'm going to raise the price a little bit. Just a little bit, but enough, I hope, to make somebody go, okay, I'm just going to do it. You can do it in payments. You can even do, if you PayPal credit, you know, this whole 6 months to pay thing. If you qualify, it's just an option for some people. I think only in the US. But if you have PayPal credit, you don't even have to pay for this thing for 6 months. Come on. Anyway, just giving you some options if that money conversation's coming up. I'm not asking anybody to get into debt. I'm just telling you about options. Why water, Bob? Well, because if I'd had one more sip of coffee, and I've only had 2 cups, but sometimes they just pack a wallop. And today was one of those days. I was like, I can't broadcast like this. Hi, Paul. Paul has joined us too. Now, technically, it's been a half hour. Technically, this is when I'd play the music, roll the credits. We don't have credits. One day we will when people start sponsoring this show. Then we'll have credits. But I do want to have any last minute questions that you have either about the law of attraction or the coaching program. And if you're watching this on a replay, again, you can post your questions here as a comment. I will be notified and I will answer them. Today's the day to ask the questions, unless you just feel like spending more money on it later for waiting. It's cool with me. It's cool with you. Okay, if anyone doesn't have any questions, because see, I could easily just keep talking. Everybody knows that. I've got zero issue with continuing to talk about this stuff, but I don't want to bore everybody to tears. Bob, you say that all the time about the law of attraction. I know. Have you implemented it yet on a consistent and daily basis? Is there a reason why you can't? Would you like to eliminate that reason? Okay, Carrie Ann says, how do you become more receptive? Let me feature her comment magically. So let me interpret that question a little bit, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. It's really, how can I be more allowing, right? How can I be more allowing of receiving what it is that I'm getting? Is that right? Maybe? Because that usually comes down to an issue of deserving. Who am I to have this? This is too big for me. I'm not worthy. And so in that I'm not worthy, you create a whole vibration of, don't give it to me because I don't deserve it. And that's being not receptive, right? Okay, good. I had it right. Gary Ann said yes. Yes. Leanne added a question. Okay, good. I'll go back and find it. So you eliminate the resistance. That's how you become more receptive. If you know that you've got an issue with deserving, we dig down to find out, well, what caused that feeling of deserving? Who told you you're not worthy? Was it a bunch of people? Was it society? Was it that one day with your weird aunt? And it embedded this thought, and it's not good to receive. It's not good to whatever. And maybe it's just reception about money. Maybe it's just reception around career. Maybe it's just reception around relationships, right? So we have to find out, like I would definitely be digging with you in group coaching about receptive about what? What do you feel like you're pushing away, right? Because it has its own unique reason for it. And depending on the reason, we could offer up any number of techniques that are appropriate for that. Was it a traumatic event? Use PS Tech. Is it something else? Maybe some EFT, right? And we work together. But yeah, so identify where the areas are that you're not being receptive and go, okay, well, what's that about? And then tune into the feeling. Like when you think about your non-receptivity towards whatever it is, what is the feeling that comes up? And do you know how to do EFT? Because if not, seek it out. It's a billion, trillion places you can learn it. And that would be a great process to use on those feelings as they come up about, whatever it is, however you would label it, about not being receptive. Now we got some questions coming on. Let me see. What are your thoughts about being, perfect. What are your thoughts about being triggered, primarily around PTSD, and how to stop the thoughts attacking in the middle of it? Krista, I just said the process called PS Tech. It's a process that I think you can go pstech.org or something like that. It's pstec.org. It's free. You can download the process for free. It is uniquely great for traumatic events, PTSD. And it can even work around anticipated events. Like you've got this thing coming up and you got all kinds of fear or worry around it. You can do this process on that to neutralize all of that. So that's, again, a specific tool that I can recommend and that really took over the last 90-day group. Now, I've been talking about PS Tech for several years, but hadn't put nearly as much focus on it as I did in this last 90 days because in a 30-day group previous to that, somebody brought it up again, and he had really dug into it. And it just sparked everybody's interest, and then everybody got into it, and now it's like a go-to tool for situations exactly like what you recommended. So definitely check that out. And Dawn has shared this, and let's see if the picture comes up. Yeah, look, oh, that's pretty big. And it's blocking my face, so we can't have that. So Carrie Ann says, yes, I love EFT. Great, so you've got the tool. You've got the tool. Let's see. Okay, well, I don't think that I've missed any other questions, right? But thank you for. Oh no, Leanne, where is it? Let's find Leanne. Amy, join the coaching. Nope, that's not a question. Well, I know this. For the benefit of others who haven't yet been through your coaching, some advice on moving beyond circumstances when they are in the polar opposite to your vision. So you're surrounded by evidence that you're not getting anywhere on your vision. And the challenge of that is, even with the greatest of mindset and the strongest vision, if you're surrounded by, I don't like this, it's really tough, right, to stay in the vision. It just takes persistence and using these tools like crazy. Because you know what, when you're really deeply triggered on a repeated level, you know, there's so many things that come up. There's so many different aspects of your past that you're triggered. Why do I deserve this? Why is this happening to me? This law of attraction stuff isn't working. I don't like the way he does this. I mean, there's so many levels. So it's not necessarily enough just to release on, oh, I'm annoyed with this. There might be several things at play here, but still, while you're working on all that, it's about keeping that vision and knowing why you're doing it. And look, when there's so much noise going on around, oh, I don't like this, I want to be away from this, and you're doing the vision like I really, you know, doing it right, getting into the vision of how it's going to feel. Sometimes you might be presented with an intuitive nudge or some information, and there might be just some reason you're not hearing it, not taking the action, waiting, or maybe it's just going to take more time. Because, you know, as long as you are continuing to visualize and do the things that we talked about and releasing the resistance as it comes up, you can trust that the process is in motion. But remember, where you're ultimately headed is whatever emotion is permeating your vision. And there may be a lot of things that need to move around in the external world to facilitate that exact situation that's going to give you that exact vibration. So it may take time as we perceive it, but just know that, you know, because rushing it will cause you to take action that might put you in a close but no cigar place, or take you in a completely different direction, even though your ego said this seems logical to do. So when we get into the rushing it and take action that doesn't really feel good and doesn't feel good, feel inspired, then we can get into situations. But just knowing that ultimately we're going to be pulled there, so we can stop thinking about if there's anything wrong with the process. Boy, there's so much to this one. But our emotional responses, as automatic as they feel in most cases, sometimes they're choices. They don't feel like choices. We're so wired, and it takes a lot in the moment to make a different choice, but it can be done. But look, I get it. I've been in situations that you can't seem to get out of, like you're surrounded. How is this ever going to change? And yet they did change. It took more time than my ego wanted. And I've done it the other way too, where I have rushed, and that's not good. Come on, fine, I'm just going to shortcut it this way, because my ego says this is going to be a great plan, and it's a train wreck. Ooh, Loretta's got a good one. Oh man, you got one of my triggers. I'm a Libra. I don't really know what that means, except that there's that whole scale and balance thing, and I am obsessed with justice. I have such a hard time with seeing unfair. I just, So, do you walk away to make it easier on everyone? Okay, I don't know the whole story here, and it cuts off there, but I think it goes beyond, like, what is the outcome of if fixing this injustice? This is the thank God. Is fixing this injustice for you so that you feel better, or does it truly benefit everyone to fix the injustice? Like, do you want to fix the injustice because I know I'm right and I'm going to prove it to everyone, but it doesn't really do anything other than you feel right, or that you feel better about being right, that they were a jerk and whatever? Or is fixing this injustice actually going to do service for others as well? So it's just coming from a different space. But making it easier on everyone, well, that's a dangerous area too. And again, boy, I would have to ask you specific. So I can only speak in generalizations right now. That whole motivation, easier on everyone from your perception, right? So that if they don't show the signs that it's difficult for them, then everything must be okay. Whenever we do anything in order to make another person feel a certain way, well, we're doing it because we assume that doing it will make them feel that way. And maybe sometimes they even show or communicate that yeah, they feel that way, but they really don't. We can't know what another person's feeling, is my point. Because sometimes they don't even know. And they try to put the words to it, but it's not quite right. Feeling is emotion. It's a very unique thing. Luckily, the universe can pick up on it exactly. But we as humans can't always, at least not put words to it. But all of this stuff, tuning into all of that, learning how to feel it, learning how to recognize it, is stuff that we, it's part of the process that we go through, just naturally, as we tune into one another, as we get clear on what our intuition feels like, as we lift more and more resistance out of our lives using these tools together, and as we get clarity on our vision. And our priorities change. I mean, I think that's another real key outcome of this coaching, is because a lot of people do come in feeling, oh, this is the thing I want, this is the thing that's going to make me happy, and then they quickly realize, oh my gosh, no, it's so much different, right, than that, in a great way. So it is a jumbo-sized Q&A today. Well, because I said it closes today, sort of, at least at the current price. So, okay, sorry. How long has this been on? Since 7:30, Jay. Coming in from over at YouTube. Jay and Jim out there in YouTubeville. Population 2, apparently. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end this now, as evidenced by the playing of the music. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna show you one more real quick. This is the delay URL, where you can go back and watch other Q&As, hear more about the coaching program if you just need that level of convincing. There's plenty of it there, and you can get access to just days worth of free law of attraction information. You can do that, but that's not the one to take action on today. It's this one right here. So let's just all stare at it together. That's just weird. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. It's VR Thursday on the Bob Doyle Show. The single most stressful broadcast of the week, but so much fun.